And welcome to another one of Andrew's book reviews. Today's book will be the third book in the Magician's trilogy, The Magician's Land. So this is kind of split up into two different groups going on here. We've got Quentin over in on Earth, who has resigned himself to being a teacher at Breakbills, the school for magic in New York. So he does something at the school, causes a lot of trouble, and he ends up getting himself fired and finds himself unemployed and in need of help. So he is summoned to this meeting at a bookstore by this strange anonymous individual who is looking to hire magicians for a job. This is where himself and a former student of Breakbills, Plum, get together and start on this quest to find and steal back this suitcase that contains mysterious objects that used to belong to the Chatwins. And it's offering quite a lot of money. So, of course, they need the money. So they take the job and head out on their adventure to retrieve this object. And, of course, things are a lot more difficult than they expect, naturally. Couldn't be any other way, right? And then we also have over in the world of Fillory, Elliot and Janet are on a desperate quest to save Fillory, which is a dying world now. So they embark on their quest to try and find a solution to save Fillory from eventual destruction before it ceases to exist altogether. So you got the two different storylines seemingly unconnected throughout the series, or throughout the book in this story. Quentin soon discovers that the missing suitcase, the one that they're trying to steal, in fact contains this unique spell for literally creating a new world, as well as a weapon that is designed to kill a god. In the meantime, back in Fillory, there really isn't much progress on the quest to save the world. They seem to be going through the motions, really. Elliot is questing along, but doesn't really seem to serve any purpose. They're not really finding a lot of unique information. They're not really finding out what exactly is causing the death of Fillory or what's happening within that world. So there just doesn't seem to be a lot of story development or a lot of really connected plot line within that story. It's just, they're like randomly going wherever they feel like they should go, depending on their feelings. So Elliot and Janet just not getting progress in what they need to do. Now, one of the nice things is one of the characters, Julia, we had gone a bit into her history and experiences learning magic outside of the traditional schooling of Breakbills, and her experience with a fox-headed god, which was a very dark and experience that she was effectively raped by this god. One of the characters, Asmodeus, had taken the knife that was in the suitcase that Quentin was searching for to kill this god, as it's a weapon to kill a god. But there's really no follow-up on that part of the story, which was kind of disappointing. I mean, it seemed like kind of a big moment, and when this knife was retrieved and then just gone off god hunting, but no actual follow-up on that, no further development in that plot line. It just kind of went dead there with nothing to really develop there. So I was kind of disappointed in that respect. Would have thought there would have been more to it than that. So the whole history behind this fox-headed god and Julia seemed to completely dissolve, disappear, and become at that point irrelevant to the story, since there was no other follow-up. I mean, I get the whole going god hunting to kill this god because of the crimes that have been committed by this god, but nothing to follow up on that. So what was the point of even including that in the story to begin with? So I was kind of disappointed in that respect with that aspect of the storyline. And But eventually, also, we have everybody meeting up again in Fillory. So Julia had become this ancient or dryad, semi demigod, and ruler of the flip side or the far side of Fillory, which is a flat world. So it's like the underside, where there's a whole different world on the other side. So she's effectively become this god of this side of Fillory. But in the end, they all get together and they all wind up in the same place. And it falls on Quentin to effectively save Fillory. But the only way this can be saved is through the sacrifice of a god, specifically the gods Ember and Umber, who are the two ram gods of Fillory. So a sacrifice had to be made. I do have to say, however, that the ending of the book was actually pretty decent. I really liked the way it ended, the way everything played out, and the way everything got taken care of and wrapped up in the end rather nicely. I really enjoyed that, and I thought that was done really well as far as a wrap up goes, considering the series itself is just kind of, it's mediocre, it's okay. The ending really kind of stood out to me in this series, being far better than the series overall. If we just look at that one little part of the ending of the series, which I thought was just great. I really did enjoy that. Overall, the series itself was kind of mediocre. Some real pointless storylines and plots that never really got developed. The very Narnian-ish, kind of more like a dark, twisted Narnia, really. So taking the elements from there and really kind of copycatting that. I mean, I get that some fantasy series have the same types of characters like wizards, witches, rogues. These are typical fantasy elements and dragons, and they kind of permeate the whole fantasy genre. But when you take a idea that specifically has been done before, secret doors leading to secret worlds, that's mimicking another writer, and that's kind of what drags the series down for me personally. The idea that there isn't much in the way of originality in discovering this world for the characters. But overall, it's still a decent read. I wouldn't write the whole series off. It's still enjoyable. And, it's still a good read, a half decent read. It certainly doesn't get a failing grade. But overall, still decent. I give the series an overall 5 out of 10 bookworms. This book will stick with the 5.5 out of 10 just because the ending did really well. And I hope that you enjoyed my review. So thank you for watching. And as always, subscribe to my blog at andrewsbookreviews.wordpress.com. And as always, subscribe and comment below. Thanks for watching, and you have yourself a great day. And of course, next up, before I forget, we have Peter Brett, The Warded Man. This is the first book in the Demon Cycle. Look forward to reading that. I've never read Peter Brett before, so hopefully it turns out good and look forward to it. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.